Okay. All right, so I am recording now. Emmanuel, I'm yet to hear from you. I want to be sure you can see my screen. Okay, so let me walk myself back to where we were yesterday. We had already inserted our title. Okay, that's the message from Emmanuel. Oh, good, you can see my screen. I'm glad you can. All right, I'm also recording. So we already typed the title, Executive Summary, Sales Performance Dashboard. Okay, 2021 Sales Performance Dashboard. I think it's 2021, I'm not sure. Read by you. I think it is. So of course the format. Control A is to highlight all. You do all the necessary formatting. I always like using New Times Roman. And of course have it in bold and put it in the center. Color, let's go to more colors. Let's use green. This shade of green is fine. Then let's give it background color. Let's go to effects. Let's choose let's see how this. No, this doesn't look too good. Let's see this. Okay, this is better. Let's give our canvas its own background too. So you click on the canvas, you go to your format pane, you select canvas background. Let's choose a darker shade of this. And of course, when you do that, it doesn't display yet until you work on the transparency. Not so much like this color. Let's use another shade of green. I think this is fine. If I'm not mistaken. This is good. All right. Let me get this to the end. Then we can start with the business of the day. Question one. Oh, God. Where are these questions? Question one. Okay, let me try and see if I can open it. Let me go to our group chat. See if I can bring it from there. I sent these items to you guys the other time. Okay, Miss here. Come in. I'm in class. Be careful. Don't disturb me. Come and look and go back. All right, so question one says, what is the total amount generated? We already did this yesterday, but let's do it again. Okay, someone else is in class. Ikolua, okay, good to have you. All right. Please, we need to know that today is the last day for Power BI. So for those that are missing this class, I don't know why, but then, well, there's always a video to watch. So let's answer our question one, which is what? Total amount generated. Remember, we are using DAX. And to do that, you go to your sales table, you expand it, and then click on this More Options buttons, select New Measure. Then you write the name of what you're looking for, which is total amount. You can just say total amount. You don't have to put that generated. And the function we used was what? Sum. And what are you summing? You are summing the amount column in the sales table. So you scroll down to sales. This is the sales table. And then the amount is there also. So you select and then you press enter. It will calculate your measure for you and write the name, total amount. Look at it here. Then you can visualize. Let's visualize using the new card. There's a new card here. And then you check it. It gives you the answer. 9 million, same as we got yesterday. Then people of God always endeavor to use a right figure, okay? So what do? You highlight the total amount. You go to this format pane, and then you select the drop down, and you choose decimal numbers. You give it 2 decimal places from here. So we have 9.35 million. Okay, settled. Question 2. What is the total cost incurred using DAX? This is where we stopped yesterday because Power BI was misbehaving. I hope it doesn't misbehave again. Now, funny enough, immediately we were done, I had to go back and I restarted my system and did it again, and it was fine. So let's try again. Now, the reason why we were going to that route that we went yesterday was because to get this question answered, that's the total cost incurred, we don't have a cost column. If we had a cost column, we would have just used sum, okay, to sum up that cost column. But since we don't have a cost column, we have to find a way around it. And checking our data set, the tables we have, if you go to our sales table, we have boxes, right? And then if you go to products, you have cost per box. So when you multiply cost per box by product, by boxes, you get the total cost incurred. Remember, these boxes we are talking about the number of boxes that we produced. Okay, so if you produce 10 boxes and cost per box is 2 naira or 1 or 2 naira, let's say 2 naira, what will be the total cost? It will be 2 times the 10 that you produced, right? So that's it. So I mentioned that you don't use DAX to do this one. You use what we call calculated measure, all right? And to do that, you have to go to your table view. When you go to table view, any table you click, it displays for you. That's our location table. This is people's table. This is product. And of course, this is sales, right? And anyone you click, you always see your new measure here. On the table tools, you always see the new measure, this new measure here. Okay? And sorry, you use a new column, pardon me, new column. So let's click on our products table, this product table, and I click on the new column. Then you type the name of the column, which is costs. And I stated that we will use the function called related to calculate this. This thing is still messing up. Okay. I wonder why this starts to mess up all the time that we're in class. Okay, let me delete it from here and put it in our sales table. Let's see. Okay, it's actually off. So let's click on the sales table. Okay. New column. cost equal to related. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So it was meant to be in the sales table. So you go to your product and then select cost per box, right? You close this particular function by pressing Shift O, and you put a multiplication symbol or sign, which is Shift 8, right? And then just type boxes. It will not pick sales boxes, and then you press enter. So what we've been able to do is to multiply number of boxes produced and then the cost per box. And with that, we've been able to create a new column, right? Called the cost column, which you can see here. Now, when you go back to table view, or to report view rather, you will see this costs column here. It's created, right? Now, to visualize it, remember you are using DAX to visualize. That's what the question says. To visualize it, you now go to the sales table again and create a new measure, right? You now write the name of the new measure, total cost. Total cost. Total cost. Right? And then you now write your sum function to sum it up. You select the sum function, and what are you summing is the sales costs. Look at it here. Sales cost. Look at it here. You now select it, and then you click enter. So our total cost measure has been created, and let us visualize it. You click on the same card that you use to visualize your total amount, and then you check your total cost. It gives you the answer, which is 4.28 million. Please, is this clear? Or would you guys want me to take it again? This one is a bit complex. So if you want me to take it again, I will take it again. Or if it's clear, then I'll be glad to continue.
Yes, sir. Take it again, sir. Take it again, sir.
All right. Okay, so let's remove this cost, or this total cost. You say delete from model, and then you say yes. Let's also remove the cost. Delete from model, you say yes. Okay, let's check only our total amount. Okay, let me delete this also. Let's remove this. Remove this also. And then let's visualize only our total amount, just as we did earlier. So this is where we were. Then let's see how to get the costs column afresh. Remember, the question says, what is the total cost incurred using DAX to calculate it? And let's go back and start all afresh. I mentioned that to get this, you will use what we call calculated column, right? And to do that, you have to go to your table view. This is your table view. And when we go here, I told you guys that any table you click, you will see the preview, right? But because we want to have our cost measure in our sales data, you have to click sales, right? You have to click sales. Then you go to, once you click sales, hold on, please. I want this to go off so that we'll have a full window. All right, once you get to sales, you go to, you see your table tools becomes active, right? And when it's active, you now come to your calculation group. In your calculations group, you click on new column, right? And then you write the name of the column you are looking for. What are you looking for? I'm looking for the cost column. And then the function we are going to use is related. Now, why are we using related? We are trying to relate two different columns from two different tables, right? We are trying to relate the cost per box column in the product table with the boxes column in the sales table. Please, we need to understand what exactly we are doing. We are trying to pick this cost per box figures and multiply it with these boxes in a different table. Remember I said we are to use DAX, but we are to use data modeling whenever we are working with more than one table. That is why that's why we're doing all these things. If we had been working with only one table, I'm sure we don't have the need to do this, right? Okay. So once you write your related function, you open it, and then because what we're relating is in the product table, you go to your product table, look at it here. And which column are we picking? The cost per box column. You select it. Now you close the function and then times, which is your shift 8, times the boxes column in the sales table. Just type boxes and it displays. You pick it and then you say enter. This will create your cost column for you. Then you can go back to your report view and it's also here. So to visualize it using DAX, all you need to do is to go back to your sales table, click on the more options, and then you create your new measure. When that is done, write the name of the new measure, which is what? Total cost incurred. Let's write this one in full. Total cost incurred, which is equal to, remember, we now have the costs, all right? All you need to do is to now sum up. Just like the time we had this amount, and we now used the DAX function to sum it up to get the total amount. That's the same thing that we're going to be doing here. So you just use sum up the costs column in your sales table. Look at it here. You select it and then enter. It gives you the new measure called total cost incurred. Then to visualize it, just click on this new card and then you check the total cost incurred. Please, is this clear now? Please, is it clear? I want to believe it's clear so we can continue. The next question says, what is the profit percent? Profit percent. Okay. Now, I am sure we have done this profit percent again. I'm sure we've done it before. Emmanuel, you said we should repeat again and do it like 3 times. No, we'll be losing a lot of time now. Please, you may have to watch the video to catch up. We've done it like 2 times already. So please, I want to beg of you to watch the video. Let us not waste too much time on this. We have a lot of other things to do. Okay? And by the time you watch the video, if you still do not get it, then you can always reach out to me. Okay? So sorry, please. Or if you know a particular point where you don't understand, I'll just go back there and but to repeat the entire process, it will take us time. New table. Which new table? There's no new table. Okay, let me do it again for the very last time. It's after this one, you will have to watch the video, okay? All right, so um, let me uncheck this first so that I would have to remove all the KPIs that I have already inserted. So let's delete from the model. Let's delete the costs measure, or the cost column rather. All right, so starting afresh, what we are trying to do is to multiply the cost per box column that is in product table with the boxes column that is in sales table, right? And because it's a complex calculation, we will need to use a column. Now, the reason why we're actually using a column is because we are trying to get a column or a different column on this one, all right? A column that will not be in the sales table. So it's not just a measure. That's why we are not using DAX. If it were to be just a measure, of course, we use a normal DAX, create a measure, and then do all we want to do. But because we want to create a column, that is why we're using calculated column, right? And you can only do that from the table view segment. And once you get there, click or highlight your sales table, right? And then on your table tools, you see your calculations. Select new column and you type the name of the column you're creating, which is called cost. And you write the function related, as we are trying to relate two different columns in two different tables. The first table is the product table. And what are we picking? The column is the cost per box column, right? You close the function and then multiplied by the sales boxes or the boxes column in the sales table. Once you hit the enter button, it creates your cost column for you. Now, ideally, when you go back to your report view, you can just pick a card and then you visualize by checking it. But because we were asked to use DAX, that is why we went to use DAX by doing this. We're going to our sales table to click on the more options button and then creating a new measure, right? And then you type the name of this new measure, which is total cost incurred. And because we are trying to get the sum, you write your sum function. So you write your sum function and then pick the sales cost. Look at it here. That sums it up for you. So to visualize it and put it inside this one, you just check total costs incurred, and then we are good to go. So Emmanuel, I want to believe this is okay now. What's question 3? Who can tell me what question 3 is? What's question 3? Okay, there's a message here. Who can tell me what question 3 is? Like, you guys are not even following. But I sent all these things to the WhatsApp group now. Is that you guys are... The class didn't stop now. Okay, it's okay.
No, so your WhatsApp page is just showing on the screen.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get. Since people refuse to answer the question I'm asking on what's the next question? So I'm trying to get it again.
I'm not seeing the question, so sir. I
I
didn't see
sent
it.
I sent this in how many days ago? Question 3 is sales per customer. Sales per customer. Okay, before we solve sales per customer, let us solve profit margin. Because I was trying to tell you guys the difference between profit margin and profit percent. Who can tell me the difference? What did I say about the two? What did I say about the two? If you know the answer, type it in the chat box. I'm waiting for your answer. If you guys don't answer, we will not continue. As a matter of fact, you must answer before we continue. So the earlier you answer, the better, so that you can continue. I'll ask my question again in case you guys didn't get it. What is the difference between profit percent and then profit margin? What's the difference by way of formula? I'm not even asking to define it. We already did profit percent, so you've seen the formula in case you might just want to remember. I know we did it in our, I think, second analysis. So we just did it again, and you've seen the formula again. So what is the formula for profit margin? The earlier you answer, the better, so that you can continue. Emmanuel. Miss Emmanuel. Uh-uh. Why is everybody just keeping quiet? Okay, Emmanuel is no longer in class. This is Ikolu and Mrs.
Yeah,
Esther.
so Power BI is beating us.
Power BI can't be beating you guys. I told the Power BI is even cheaper than Excel. It's just that you guys have decided not to be doing your practice. For you, you have an excuse, but what about others? I can't be asking question and nobody's answering. Even if you're not so sure, at least say something, you know. For you, there's an excuse, and I understand your plight. You explained to me, but what about others? Now, Emmanuel has been yanked off probably by his network. Ikolo is back. She's coming off and coming on and going off. But then it's not encouraging anymore, honestly. Honestly, it's not encouraging. So, is anybody willing to answer now? People should answer. Nobody wants to answer. Okay, we will continue. Continue. I told you guys that one major thing about profit margin is that it makes reference to revenue. I know I told you guys that. While profit percent makes reference to cost, right? I've done it. So that's the major difference. Profit percent makes reference to cost, while profit. All right. Sorry, guys, my network went off. Okay, so like I was saying, profit margin makes reference to revenue, while profit percent makes reference to cost. Now, you may not have direct cost in your data set, but if you find something like cost of goods sold, you can still use it, okay? Just in case, all right? All right, so let's continue. Let's find the profit margin, okay? Now, profit margin, like I said, the formula would be total profit divided by total costs times 100/1, okay? Now,